My next guest is going to be fighting for the middleweight title at UFC 276 against champion Israel Adesanya. It is Jared Cannonier, the Killer Gorilla, back here on the program. Jared, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, James. How you been, brother?
I've been great, but I'm not going to be fighting for UFC Gold in a few weeks. Congratulations. You and I have been doing interviews for a while. It's been a while, or it's been a long journey to get this title shot. When did you find out it was official? When did you sign pen to paper?
I believe, I can't remember exactly at this point in time now. I think it was either 8 or 11 weeks out.
Okay, good. So plenty of notice, though, obviously, which is great. So
yeah, I had an inkling that it was going to happen soon after the my last fight. So yeah, I was already doing what I needed to do to get prepared. So yeah.
For sure. And it's well deserved, like I said. Were you worried at all, though, maybe you weren't going to be next? We hear, there's always some politics when it comes to matchmaking and everything. Were you, I'm assuming you were confident that you were going to get it.
Yeah. I didn't see that. I mean, like what I said in the octagon, like there's nobody else. There was nobody else, nobody to play politics with or anything like that. So, I was pretty confident that, that I was going to get the shot next. Plenty of affirmations from many different places. I got the nod from Dana, at the moment. I heard, I listened to the interview, the post-fight interview. He reiterated that. He's just got some pull, who he fights and when he fights and stuff like that. So he's been, clenching his fist, waiting to make this happen too. So energies in many different places, bringing this to fruition. And I'm just here working my ass off and ready to jump right into my spot.
And he last defended his title against Robert Whittaker in what many considered a pretty close fight. I was just curious, I'm sure you've had a chance to watch it. How did you score that fight? Because some people felt like Rob did enough to win, but it's Adesanya who got the nod.
It was definitely a close fight. I don't think Rob did. I think he did enough to make it competitive,
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he did enough to solidify the win. We all know that we're all aware of the biases when it comes to title fights. So so there's that. You know what I'm saying? It's a universal thing. Can't really. I don't foresee us getting around it anytime soon. So I expect the same thing when I get up in there and when I get up in there with him until I start working, and then they're really going to see. So I thought it was close, but I thought Izzy did what he had to do to retain his title.
And obviously you and Rob are different fighters to a certain degree. Is there anything you can take away from that fight? I know Rob didn't end up winning, but he had a lot of success against Adesanya, even making it that close. Do you take anything away from that fight, or do you think this is a totally new ball game, so to speak, with you fighting him?
It is a new ball game. I'm a different fighter. I don't fight nowhere near like Robert fights. Yeah. So it's a different ball game. But yeah, I definitely take stuff away from that fight. Robert moves very well, and I pride myself on my ability to move in and out on my opponent. So, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I was curious about that. That's interesting. And with a fight like this being a title fight, I should say, do you bring anyone in to sort of mimic Adesanya, or do you just focus on what you're good at and bring that to the table in the fight?
No, man. Like I said before, man, I feel that this team has everything that I need. When I first came here for my first fight at heavyweight, I said if I move down here and dedicate myself to this team, I'd be fighting for a title eventually. I'll be winning the title eventually. So, things change. Of course, members come and go. But the main core is still there. The program is still there. And we do what we can, So, no, we didn't bring anybody new. I personally didn't feel like we need to bring in some expert kickboxer to emulate, and I'm not too concerned about. I don't really when I prepare for fights, it's not really focusing on what he's going to do and how he's going to do it and how it's going to feel. And no, hell no. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I'm worrying about feeling is my sharp sword slicing through. My weapons making contact with my target. My shields are intact, so when my target fires on me, my shields are there, and it's like styrofoam arrows bouncing off of a heavy metal shield, but that's fast and mobile, and and very dangerous, like a spiked shield.
I like the analogies, man. It's I'm getting this good visualization here, the way you're describing stuff. Training partners, who have you mainly worked with for this camp? I know it's usually the same, but who are you getting to work with?
I mean, shit, man, the lab, the MMA
Yeah,
lab.
so like, Benson Henderson, yeah, sort of.
Yeah, not so much Benson, because I think he has a fight coming up as well too.
He does, yeah. You're right, actually.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we work together. We're in there. But the bigger guys on the team are the guys who I get my work in with, the taller, longer guys. The guys who I feel like when I'm doing my thing, this is what I'm going to be doing it to. Like I said, when my opponent gets in there, they're not going to be the middleweight champion of the world. He's simply a husk, a shell. And when I'm in there with my opponents and I'm in my flow, in my zone, they're husks, they're shells, they're training dummies for me to do what I have to do, and they're active, so they're also giving me looks and reads, and they're holding me accountable for mistakes that I may make and things like that. So the team.
Yes. Well, I guess when you think of the lab, you think of sort of the lighter weight guys, right? Like, when you talk about Benson, he's a lightweight. You've got, other guys on the gym. So who are some of the bigger guys? I know maybe not household names, but can you name maybe a training partner or two that you get to work with that's on the heavier side?
Yeah. Ivy, who just fought. Ivy Nixon, he just fought.
Okay.
Hardstyle, you guys are going to hear about him real soon. Who else? Elias is in there. Trace is going to be in my corner. He's been helping me out big time. Javier, who's been coming into the lab for years now, helping me out with my camps. His few of guys who come in with him, I get to work with as well. Bruce. Who else? The MMA lab team, man, get put on the spot. Yeah. It's hard to come up with these.
No worries. Hey, listen, it's not your job to do a roll call, so to speak. Your job is to train and everything. But I mean, how crucial is that too? I think we've talked about this before, but having those up and comers in camp is so key, because not only are you getting a different look, but a lot of these guys, they still got to prove themselves. So they're going to give you that good push. They're not, obviously there's no egos there either, because they're still trying to prove themselves.
Absolutely. There's no egos. It's a very professional situation, even though it's very informal. We're all family up in there. Like I said, we hold each other accountable, with our skills, with our talents, and we're all on that path of achieving that final form, if you will. I personally feel that there is no final form, because once you reach that final form, there's no reason to keep going. So, but you guys get, I'm sure everybody understands what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
So yeah, man, we're in there. We be in there working, man. The guys in there, some guys rise to the occasion, and I get humbled all the time. You know what I'm saying? I get humbled all the time by the big guys and the little guys. They let me know that there's things I still need to be working on. I'm always working on myself, and then these guys will let me, hey, you should be working on that too. You should be working on that too. We should be working on this as well. So it's a wonderful pool of energies that are just going, and it's like a hurricane of many different hurricanes in there, and there's many different schools are at play, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning many different things, sometimes simultaneously.
Weight cut looks like it's going well. I saw you doing some barbecuing the other day on Instagram. Do you barbecue most of your food, or what are you eating right now for the cut?
Well, I've eliminated a lot of the foods that have like 10 plus ingredients, a bunch of ingredients that we can't pronounce in there. So recently, last month and a half, last couple of months has been just fruits, vegetables, meats. Again, I'm not too strict on it, because I had s'mores when the grill's going. I'm gonna eat some s'mores. But that has been really good. I mean, it's like my body is just shedding. It's not that it's just shedding the weight, because I'm working my ass off. I'm working really hard. I'm in camp the last couple of weeks of camp, so but it's not holding on to a lot of it, and it's not, the chemicals aren't being put in my body to say, hey, let's hang on to all this bad shit so we can give this guy diabetes and heart disease and all that stuff. So just again, one ingredient foods is what I'm having mostly. I'm also getting foods from Icon Meals. It was from through the UFC. They've been sending me foods, so those have been really good at maintaining sustenance, so I have the energy to go in there and work my ass off, and food for recovery as well.
And I imagine the cut is going well though this time around. It seems like, I mean, you always make weight, but still, you always got to check in.
Oh yes, the weight cut is very good. I woke up at 205 this morning. I woke up at light heavyweight this morning. I work out. When I work out, I'm dropping like 5, 6, 7 pounds. So the weight cut is, I'm ready to cut the weight already. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I'm ready to go. The weight cut is easy. It's going to be another easy cut.
How's this fight playing?
I don't like those blankets. So I prefer a sauna or a hot bath. I prefer a hot bath.
Okay. Now I hear you on that. How do you envision the fight playing out on July 2nd? How do you get it done?
I feel like, how do I get it done? How do I envision getting it done? It's going to be it's going to be a lot of technique being employed. It's going to be very technical. It's going to be a striker's delight, if you will. But it ain't going to be no striking match. It's an MMA fight. So I don't plan on playing his striking game. That's what, he goads everybody into it. He confuses them, and then next thing you know, they're in his genjutsu. They didn't know it, but they were playing right into his hand. I plan on neutralizing. I want him to be neutralized, null and void. I want to be flaccid out there. Everything. If he does something, he's going to have to be super dynamic. He's going to have to be very dynamic. He's going to have to be like red alert type shit. You know what I'm saying? So same thing with Brunson. When I was up in his face, when he felt my presence, when he felt my pressure, he threw 13 takedowns at me. That's all. I know he runs takedowns, but damn, that much, right?
Yeah.
So Izzy's not going to shoot. So, or he might not shoot. I've seen him and Nari roll in the fight before, but I don't foresee him shooting or anything like that. So this is going to be very, very fun, very interesting. It may even be synonymous to the Anderson fight. Yet again, another striker who I didn't foresee shooting on me. So there it is. It's going to be synonymous to that. That's what I want. That's what I envision.
Okay, there you go. Did you happen to catch UFC 275 this past weekend? Did you watch it?
Oh yeah.
That fight in the main event. What did you think of that with Jiri coming back and getting the submission to take the title? What did you think of that?
I think Glover handed him the belt on a silver platter in that, when he went for that guillotine. Mm-hmm. It's crazy, because throughout that fight, I was watching that fight. I was like, look at that veteran move. Look at this. That's veteran. That's experience right there. That's this, that's that. I was just really, in my mind, I was saying it to myself, just in my mind, really highlighting that discrepancy right there, because that was the same thing when I fought him, right? It was less dynamic when he fought me. I just, anyway. But yeah, he went for that. He had him hurt in the beginning of the 5th round, and he jumped on that guillotine. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe this was, I'm sure he was thinking, this is it. Yeah. He had him hurt. His head was down, and he had it, I don't know how close he had it locked in, but I would have tried to finish it standing at first. And I would have tried to lock it up standing at first. But I don't know. I wasn't in there. I'll have to ask Glover about that. Yeah. But he was doing very well. I favored him in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Being a victim of him, I favored the man in the fight. I wanted to see the old dog continue to stomp the yard, But I think he may be back. Like you said, he will be back. I think if he fought the way he fought last night, Saturday night.
Saturday night, 2 nights.
He'll definitely get there again.
Yeah.
The way he fought Jan, he'll definitely get there again. He seems very consistent the way he's fighting. He's been getting better, So, yeah. And congrats to Jiri, man. The guy on his 3rd fight has a belt around his waist, man. That's amazing. That's awesome. And again, I respect him. I really like the energy that he's putting out there. He really seems he's really putting out that energy of a true, focused, ingrained martial artist in this sport of MMA. So it's interesting, very intriguing to see, especially that haircut of his.
Yeah, I know it's cool, the antenna and everything.
And, the hand gestures too, man. I think that shit's pretty cool.
He's
too.
a real life samurai, man. I love watching him fight. He's great. You've got what, 20 career fights. You fought in 3 different weight classes. What would it mean to win a UFC title? Just with everything you've been through in your journey and, you know, everything you've done in your career. I'm sure you've thought of that. I know you're not looking past Izzy, but, you know, winning the title, what would that mean to you?
It's just another step in the road that I'm building. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not too enamored by the position that I'm in. You know, everybody else is more excited about this than I am. You know, I enjoy fighting. I love fighting. That's my focus. I'm focusing on fighting and being a better fighter, being the best fighter, and then becoming better than that. So, you know, it'll be good.
Yeah,
it'll definitely be great. It'll be awesome. You know, but again, it's the next step, the next level.
And what do you make of them putting the Sean Strickland and Alex Pereira fight on your card? The matchmaking is a bit weird just because Strickland obviously has more UFC fights, but you know that they're obviously remembering that Pereira had knocked out Israel Adesanya in kickboxing. So I think that, you know, the school of thought is if Israel wins this fight and Alex wins his, they'll match him up. Is that something you even pay attention to, or do you not even care about them being on the card?
Oh, I see. You know, well, anybody with open eyes can see. So, I mean, yeah.
Does that annoy you a bit though? Just knowing like that. Yeah, well, I was going to ask, does it annoy you a bit just because Pereira only has a couple of UFC fights, and if he wins this, there's some thought he might get the title shot?
No, I mean, I can't hate on the next man for the path that they walk. That's just like me saying, man, fuck Jiri, man. He don't deserve a title. No, man, that's weak. That's weak. Hell no. If he wins his next fight and they give him a title shot, good for him. Mm-hmm. But if they step over somebody for that, say Marvin and Robert, you know, shit I can do about that. If it happens to me, fuck. You know? What can I do to mitigate that and make that not happen? Whoop anybody's ass who steps in front of me to where they be like, that guy's next. Yeah. So I mean, there's many different ways you can see. I mean, many different ways you can take them putting him on the card, you know. They're setting up Izzy's next fight. So what does that mean? What happens to me?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, you know, I mean, I read minds. I can see, you know, but, you know, they don't know. You know, did any of them think that I would be in this position before I got in this position? No. They're probably sold on Israel the same way they were sold on Conor before he lost. So I'm finna go in there and do my fucking thing. And I'm going to be the best version of myself that I can be. And it ain't going to be easy for him. You know, I'm going to do what I can to make it easy for me. I made my prediction. Easy Adesanya. It's not a knock to the man. That's just what I want in the fight. I don't want no hard-ass wars. I don't want him to go in there doing his thing and looking good. Hell no. Only thing I want to look good is this hand going across his head, me hitting him everywhere, all over the place. Arms, legs, body, head. You know? That's what I'm here to do. You know, when it comes to this fight, you know, again, I got all respect for the champ. You know what I'm saying? I've loved watching his ascension and his reign and all that stuff, you know. No hate to the man whatsoever. But now I'm his opponent. All right? I'm player one. All right? I'm not sitting here watching the screen, watching, wow, player one's doing good. I'm not watching, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm player one. So I'm finna go and I'm grabbing hold of this controller. I'm getting used to the buttons, learning the moves. I'm finna go in there and execute on fight night. And I'm gonna get that belt. I'm going for that belt, you know? So, but first things first is the fight. I'm focusing on fighting. And here we are, 20 days away.
Yep. And we're looking forward to it, man. UFC 276, July 2nd. You're the main event, Jared, of this mega card, man. That's got to feel good. Just remind people where they can get a hold of you on social media. And if you got any sponsors or shout outs, I'll give you the last word. And your t-shirts, where can they find them?
Oh, yes. T-shirts, Killer Gorilla shirts coming on sale. I have my website. I can't remember the name of it. But
it's on your Instagram, though. It's probably on your Instagram, right? You have all that on your Instagram.
The link is in my bio on my Instagram page, Killer Gorilla MMA. that's pretty much my main social media site that I'm using. I don't like social media. Everybody's like, you should up your social media presence, especially being in the position that you're in. Man, I know times is changing, but I was here before the change, and I'll be here when there's another change. There's going to be another change after this. There's going to be more changes after that, and I'll make what adjustments I feel I need to make to survive. So I don't feel like I need to jump on the internet and dance around like the rest of these clowns and do all that dumb shit. Um, plus, that ain't me. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know how to dance. So, so there it is. You know, I know how to fight though. Also, shout out to my sponsors, Thrival. As always, I love the Thrival muscle release board. It's the best thing I've ever, one of the best pieces of equipment I have for my muscles to date, outside of Air's Physical Therapy. Shout out to Air's Physical Therapy. Those guys are great out there. There's actual human hands that do things, and they know things as well. Shout out to Crystal Council, Joe and Vinny. It was good seeing you guys this weekend. I will see y'all in Vegas. More sponsors coming soon.